My name is Robert dos Santos. I'm a director and producer working in the South African film industry. And if I had to give advice about producing, it is to learn everything. Learn everything you can. There is this myth about producing in that it's someone who organizes contracts and puts money together, and that's half of it at best. It's to get something off the ground and to make a good project means you need to know everything, and that goes from understanding what type of tripods you need to have on set to knowing what instances or what part of the color grade you need to come and have your hand in the pie. And you have to be the mother, the father, and the overlord of everything. So the best bit of advice I could give is care and learn constantly, all day, every day. Gear is changing, the cost of gear is changing, and you can use that to your advantage, to your director's advantage, to the product's advantage, to the project's advantage, to the investor's advantage. So every time you learn a new skill, you understand how better to create the craft of film and to get an advantage over whoever it is that's out there and to make a better story. So the best bit of advice I can give is to just learn and to never stop learning. I got in the industry in a very strange way. I studied law, I practiced law, and then at some point I realized that law is very boring and you only live once and you should do some cool shit with your life. So I gave that up and I did what seemed natural, and that was producing. Producing has a lot of legal and administrative tasks associated with it, so it just came naturally and something that I fell into. My brother's a director, I assisted him on a few things, and then branched out for myself. And the best thing about producing is you are responsible for the ultimate end product, and that means that you need to be there from the very beginning to the very end. Going back onto the learning sphere is you need to understand all facets of what it takes to go from an idea to putting it onto a page, to getting money, to turning that into a set, and then going into the edit room and finally coming out with something. And then taking that even further and marketing it, and then getting that out into the world, getting it into awards, making sure that there's returns, making sure that you understand the licensing and where that's going to go. So law was very helpful with that. And then just knocking my head, just figuring it out and just making things, whether it was going out and trying to make a feature film or literally making a music video for my friend's band. It's all the same thing. It's all about taking an idea and finding the best way to execute on that idea and coming up with something that you can use. If you want to become a producer, it's in the word. You produce. It's that simple. If I had to cut through all the noise and all the nonsense of what people think it is to be a producer, it's literally just that. It's to produce. It's to make. And that's all you have to do. Go out and make things, whether it is filming a leaf blowing in the wind or shooting a full feature film. It's just making sure that you start and that you create. And what's interesting about this industry is it's a very visual industry, and we all rely on what we see. So if you're not making, people aren't seeing, and people don't understand what it is that you're able to bring to the table. So if you're making things, the more you make, the more people see you, the more opportunities you have to go places. And it really doesn't mean going out and making a full feature film. You can make 30-second shorts, 2-minute shorts. So one of the mistakes I think young filmmakers do is they get too ambitious with their short film projects, and they want to make a 10, 15-minute opus that is going to change the world. And the truth is that when people are looking to see what you can do, is people don't have a lot of time these days. They're not going to sit and go through 100 people's 20-minute short films. They're going to watch a short amount of time and see, can you tell a story? And if you can do that in 2 minutes, that is much better than trying to do something in 20 minutes, because you can take that budget and you can put it into a 2-minute effort, or you can take that budget and you can spread it over a variety of projects and you can make more. And by making more, you're better able to get your things out there and you can concentrate on shorter experiences. And at the end of the day, what people are looking for is, can you tell a story? It doesn't need to be a 20-minute expanse of an epic. If you can tell a story in a short space of time, you can do it in a longer space of time. So an easy tip I can give is just create and don't try to overshoot the moon. Keep it small, keep it simple, and keep it frequent. Don't stop at one thing and then think that's going to change the world. The world, unfortunately, and I wish this wasn't the case, it's just the reality, the world fortunately has a very short attention span, and 1 second you're on, the next second you're gone, because people can Instagram swipe up. So if you limit yourself to this big 15-minute epic, which takes a year to make, you're going to get one bite at the cherry and it could go through. Whereas if you're focused more on producing on a frequent and consistent basis, you have more opportunity of having your things seen. Story is the most important thing, whether you can tell a story in 5 seconds, 5 minutes, or 5 hours. But in order to execute a story, you need to understand fully what it is that you're doing. And for myself, I don't necessarily believe that is something that you can find on set on the day. There is too much at risk going onto set hoping to find your story on set. If that's specifically the story you're going for, then good luck, and I hope the magic follows. For me, preparation is paramount. I would rather prep for double the shoot time and get less shoot days than have it the other way around. Is if you can prep and you know exactly what it is that you're going to do, you can execute and make sure that you get what it is that you need to. Obviously, you need to catch the magic of set. That's the whole point of being there. That's where all the fun is and where it happens. But taking the necessary time to understand what it is that you're doing before you even start doing it is important. Is what am I trying to do? What am I trying to say? And how am I saying it? And storyboarding is one of the tools which is very, very helpful. Location wrecking till you get sick of the location, know exactly where the sun rises, where it sets. Just now you run into trouble and you have to shoot later. You know, okay, well, the sun's going to be there. So over prepping is the most important thing you can do, because when you get on set, you can always forget it and you can always pretend that it never existed, but you have that cushion to fall back on. So don't constrain yourselves by prepping, but definitely set yourself free by having all the tools that you need on the day. To do this, you have to be absolutely insane. It's the only, you can only do this job if there's nothing else you can do with your life. You can't want it, you have to need it. Otherwise, there's no point in being here. This is the most rewarding thing you will ever do in your life. I wake up every single morning, whether it is a good day ahead or a bad day ahead, I'm excited and I want it. And it comes from pure insanity, because it's tough. You're going to get a million no's. You're going to be ignored. You're going to question what it is that you're doing. And it's only through the love of what it is that you want to do and what it is that you're doing that will get you through all of those difficulties. So I think the advice I would give on that is find your voice, find out what it is that you want to do specifically, what it is that you want to say, and just hang on to that, because if you know what it is that you want to do, everything else is gravy, because you have a mission, you have a goal, and you can wake up every single morning and say, that is what I'm going to do. And once I found that, it's whether I reach that goal It's unimportant because I'm on the road and on the journey towards that goal, and that excites me. So figure out what your goal is, what your mission is, what the reason why you were put on this earth is. And if it is making film, and if it is telling a specific story or convincing a specific audience of something, just make that part of your DNA and just live with that.